What's good, Mad Gang? Day 11 of the bootcamp, and today I'm going to show you probably one of my favorite concepts. It's called exhaustion zones, and I'm going to show you how we use them and most importantly why we use them, because I feel that is super important. You get different type of levels in trading, and I know everyone promises or swears by their levels, but I'm going to show you how I use this for my entry methods, my exit methods, and also how I dictate my market structure. But before we do that, I really want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for all the love and support that I received a couple of days. I do not take it for granted, man. I know that there's a lot of things that you can learn about in this trading industry, so the fact that you guys just listen to what I'm telling you, learning a lot. I've already seen so many testimonies. You guys are absolutely killing it. I'm super proud of you, and I cannot wait for the future and what the rest of this bootcamp holds, and then for us to walk this journey together. But before I do that, I get so many emails every day, DMs, people reaching out, and what I want to talk about for today's MC rant is I want to ask you something, but I need you to really be serious about it, because there's one thing to say, hey MC, I promise I'll do this, but it's another thing to actually go and do this. And remember, I'm not gaining anything from this. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to let you improve on all aspects of life. And you cannot do that before, well, I ultimately believe you cannot do that before you're being 100% real with yourself. And please make no mistake whatsoever, I'm not perfect. I'm actually super far away from it. I've made many mistakes in the past. I'm probably going to make some mistakes in the future again, so I'm not a perfect human being at all. I just want to make that clear. But I'm that one guy who will wake up every day, reflect on the previous day, and get better. My aim always is, how can I get better? What can I improve? What can I do to be the best? And I'm constantly pursuing that. So following that, my question is, what is your purpose? When people talk about you, what is the number one thing that they say with your name? And when people hear your name, what is the one thing they associate you with? When they talk about you, do they remember it with positive memories, or do they remember it with negative memories? What do they associate you with? Now, the goal here is not to let their opinions define you. Please don't get me wrong. The goal is not for their opinions to define you. It is merely, what will you be remembered by? And once again, the main idea for not letting their opinions define you is ultimately going to result in you being the best you that you can possibly be, because then you're not living up to their expectations. You're not living up to their opinions. You're doing something that makes you happy. You're doing something that fulfills you, that puts peace in your heart. And by doing that, you ultimately exceed your own expectations. You don't live up to anybody else's will. You live up to your own will, and you follow your dreams. No expectations from other people or telling you, yeah, they had big plans for your life, or they really had high hopes for your future, stuff like that. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not their life. It's your life. And I know that you know this, but every now and then you needed to be reminded of it. So with every video of the bootcamp, every day you're learning more technical aspects. You're learning how I see the market. And why should you listen to me? It's because I found my purpose, and my purpose is in trading. And once again, make no mistake, I did not pick up this trading thing from the get-go and started making money. Please don't think that. And if you thought that, it's not true. Wherever you heard it, it's not true. I struggled for 3, maybe even 4 years, bro. And I still learn new things every day, but take that with a pinch of salt. I don't learn new things and apply it every day. I'll maybe read something and I'll be like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Or I'll maybe see something and be like, oh, yeah, okay. Because I'm so set in my own ways in trading, and I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. I'm saying that in a, what's the word? I turn a blind eye to certain things in this industry, and it's on purpose because I want to protect my peace. I want to protect what I know in this industry, and I know a lot, trust me. I'm sure you do as well, but I'm trying to protect my knowledge as to what I know, because it has taken me 10 years to build up what I currently use. It has taken me many sleepless nights, man. It has taken me so many hours behind this freaking screens, bro. So at the end of the day, what do you expect is going to happen if somebody puts up 10,000 hours, maybe even 15,000 hours? if they put up that much time, what do you expect is going to happen? Of course they're going to get good. Now don't get me wrong, there's one thing versus working and then just sitting and looking busy. Anybody can look busy, okay? When you found your purpose and you know, I'm going to be the best trader in my country, okay? Because it's possible, bro. It's possible. If you have a goal, you're going to be the best trader in the country, and you say, man, I put in 10 hours a day, but you're sitting in front of YouTube for 4 hours, that's not working, bro. You're going to be the best YouTuber or the best consumer consuming YouTube. That, you might be the best in that, but you're not going to be the best trader. And I'm being honest with you. You need to diligently seek what's your purpose, what do you want to achieve. And I'm not being Dr. Phil here. I'm just sharing my thoughts, expressing my heart out to you. You need to find that, and then yesterday we talked about manifesting it. When you manifest it, you then write down actionable steps that you use to diligently pursue what it is that you want. So once again, man, what is your purpose? I know some of you have been slacking. I know some of you have not been owning up to your own word to yourself or your own promises. And I know that because I've been doing that too. For the past year and a half, since I lost my mom, something very personal, but I feel like we have this relationship, man. I feel like I can talk to you personally. And since I lost my mom last year, man, my world shut down completely, okay? It got to a point where I started questioning everything. Even started questioning my own religion. I know it's a big no-no, but I really started questioning everything. I wouldn't say I was depressed. I would just say that at the end of the day, I was kind of feeling like, what's all this for? You know, I shared my testimony in the first video, and after I achieved that, I was like, okay, now my mom's gone, you know. But here's the thing, and I need you to hear me out right now. I need you to understand the realness. If you're not getting attacks, if you're not a threat to the enemy, you're doing something wrong. I thrive off from that. I'm telling you, I thrive off from that. Usually back in the day, I'll be stressed out, man. If I get attacks, I mean, haters, spiritual attacks, whatever it might be, I don't want to get too much into that. But if you're getting attacked and if you're a threat to someone, you won't be a threat to someone that you're lesser than. You'll only be a threat to someone if you're more than, you know? So I need you to understand that. I need you to comprehend that if something is happening that you feel is not according to your will or to God's will for your life, you need to attack that thing back. Don't be on defense mode. Be aggressive for your dreams. Be aggressive towards the type of person that you want to be, the type of husband, the type of wife. Wake up every day. You cannot be complacent, my friend. You cannot. You need to get up. You need to relentlessly pursue what you want after you watch some bootcamp videos, of course, because that is how, well, my aim here is for you to know that that is how you gain knowledge and hopefully open a lot of doors for yourself. So at the end of the day, man, these real talks, I really love having it with you guys. And it's not because I'm trying to be better than, or I'm trying to sound like a psychological teacher or something. You might just see me as your mental coach or that voice in the back of your head. I know you guys know these things, but sometimes you just got to be remembered of it, you know? It's like we know all of these things. We know everything, but we know them until we don't anymore. So I really hope you guys can see my heart with this. Like I said, man, my purpose is in trading. My purpose is in being MC. This mask here gave me purpose, and take that how you want. I know we should not get our purpose from earthly things. But I genuinely thrive off from the idea of being MadCharts. I 100% thrive off from the idea of helping people, putting on the mask for fun and giggles, and then just being this persona that I am. But behind this, I'm a real person who has dreams, who has ambitions, who achieved a lot of dreams, but I'm still hungry for more, and I want to help you guys. That's my goal here, is I want to help you guys, because yeah, do not get me wrong, it's effort to sit in front of a camera, to send it off to my editor, shout out to you, bro, to edit it all, and really just to post it and to share it on social media so you guys can watch it. It's effort, but by sowing, I'm standing in the season to harvest, you know? And it's not that I'm expecting anything back, it's the passion that I have and my purpose. My purpose is to be remembered as a household name one day, to change one industry. I am hooked by the fact that there's a possibility of me to be the best in something. And I found my something, and I want to be literally the very best that I can possibly be. So if I achieve something in the trading industry, if something happens, if I get an award or an article about me or something, I'm super happy about it. Like genuinely, I'm stoked, man. But at the end of the day, I've got a bigger goal. I've got a bigger vision. I'm only getting started, man. I'm only, I mean, I'm still at the starting line. I haven't even run the race yet. So I want to thank you all for allowing me to live out my purpose, but I will suck at being a leader or a mentor or someone you look up to if I didn't urge you guys to live up to your purpose. And I need you guys to ask yourself the question first, what is your purpose? Why are you doing this? But without further ado, man, I trust you guys. I know you guys are going to do the right thing. Be a good person, man. Don't be a jackass. Don't walk around with an ego and think that the world owes you anything. Go out and do a good thing. Live up to your purpose. Love your wife, love your husband, love your family. Work hard, and then at the end of the night, praise and worship. Do your Bible study. Go to bed. Wake up tomorrow. Go to the gym again. Get in shape. I mean, man, it's not that difficult. Just do the right thing. When something feels wrong, it's wrong. When something feels right, it's right. How do you know if it's wrong or right? The wrong things will be easy. The right things will be difficult. And I found that out a little bit too late in my life, but I'm happy I found it out right now. But when something is easy, I always ask myself, okay, what's the catch? You know, what's going on? What's the catch? Why is this so easy? But when something is difficult, I'm like, oh yeah, man, this is so damn worth it. So let's get into today's video. I cannot put enough emphasis on how much I love these levels. I pretty much swear by it if I can. Now I know, take that with a pinch of salt. You cannot really swear by anything in the trading industry or with your trading method because there's a lot of different things that you need to focus on. But without further ado, let me shut up and let's just get into the charts. Okay, so we're on the charts, and before I jump into the technicals, let me just explain pretty much what exhaustion areas is. It's very simple, really not that difficult, folks. So we all know we have a candlestick, right? We have the wick, and then we have the body. Now what this explains is when we have a longer wick, okay, than usual, I'm going to show some practical examples right now, but when we have a longer wick, the context behind it is volume pushed sellers back down, and then they got pushed back up. Why is that? Because the buyers got more aggressive. So I'm always interested in that level where they got aggressive because there's a reason behind it. When you see a turning point, maybe Asia session low or London session high, you will always see the turning point gives us an exhaustion area. And that is important because aggressive buyers or aggressive sellers stepping in. So what in essence it means they gained interest. I want to understand why they gained interest at that certain level because of course it's important to know. You want to know why they saw interest at that level. And once you can understand that with context of your daily overall structure, you have a key level. So an exhaustion area will usually either get broken and retested, or it will get tested and then you have to react off from that rejection. So it will basically look something, it will come up, and then all of a sudden it will come down and then move back up. Or it will come down, break, retest, or just continue follow suit. That's what usually happens if we have an exhaustion area down at the bottom. But let's get into the practical charts so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Once again, I just want to reiterate that we do not draw levels from 1978. We draw only the current levels, okay? We do not worry about the previous levels. Like something like this, I do not care about this. Now, once again, if you want your level to extend to the right, you just double click on it, go to style, and then extend to the right. This makes things a lot easier, but I don't want to draw exhaustion areas off from here or here. It has to be clean and simple current levels. By looking at the chart right here, I can see we have an exhaustion area and then we have an exhaustion area over here. So now basically I'm waiting for the market to come and test it, but we have a roof over here as well. So let's go down to H2. Now the time frames I look at exhaustion areas are H4, H2, H1 and M30. I will look at the exhaustion areas on the M15. Here's the broken pinky again. I will only look at the exhaustion areas on the M15 if I took an entry on the M15. So that's very important. Only look at exhaustion areas on the M15 if I got an entry on it. Now I don't want to jump into the specifics. That's going to be an hour-long video. There's a lot of reason why I use the data on these specific time frames, but I don't want to bore you guys with that. Let's just stick to the basics. And I can already see we have an exhaustion area right over here. And let's go down to H1. Now, if you're ever confused as to where an exhaustion area should be, for example, let's say you thought this would have been an exhaustion area. It's very, very simple. Just drop down to a lower time frame and it will all make sense. Okay, so let's just put a circle around this one. And now I'm on the H2. So if I see one on the H2, I will drop down to the M30. If I see one on the H1, I will drop down to the M15. It's pretty basic. H1, M15. H2, M30. I'm going to say it again. H1, M15. H2, M30. Very simple. So we go down to the M30 and I can see I do not have an exhaustion area. So what I'll do then is I'll go up to the H1. And on the H1 I can see we also do not have an exhaustion area. So on the M15, I'm not really going to care. I do not have an exhaustion area. So that's not an exhaustion area for me, okay? I want to take the liberty of saying it must show on 2 time frames. And if it does, it's great. Regardless, if it's a valid exhaustion area, it's going to show on 2 time frames. So furthermore, I can see I had an exhaustion area forming here, which was tested. Where did the market go? The market went to another exhaustion area here at the top. If you want to see, you'll probably be like, yo, MC, what's going on? Where did you get that one? Then let's go to the M5 and see if I'm correct. So on the M5, look at this big wick right here. Let me zoom in for you. Look at this big wick right here. Okay, so very simple. That's also an exhaustion area. Now you're probably going to ask me, and I'm always trying to think about the questions that you guys might ask. MC, is this not an exhaustion area? Is this not an exhaustion area? Is this not an exhaustion area? And I'll be like, yes, all of them is. And then you'll be like, MC, is this not an exhaustion area? And no, that's not. Okay? When it's a downtrend, it has to be above. When it's an uptrend, it has to be below. Very easy, very simple. So I know that the market, I know that the market is in a downtrend because of the daily time frame. And let's delete this one. So I can draw my exhaustion areas over here. I can do that, but why do I want to do that? The market is not close to that. You're confusing yourself. And now you're probably going to ask me, once again, MC, there's too many levels on the chart. No, there's not. You have to put it in context. If I have an equilibrium and an exhaustion zone and the high of Asia, that's going to carry a lot more weight than a random exhaustion area somewhere. So the idea is not to predict off from these levels. The idea is to react off from them. So if you see the market testing them, I see the market testing them, I will then wait for a lot of different confluences, but one of them that I'll look at is a break of a bullish structure like we look on the daily time frame. Or maybe I'll track the pressure when I'm trading indices. There's a lot of different things that I need you to look at, but for today, for your homework, go ahead and draw your exhaustion zones at the session highs. Asia session high, Asia session low, London session high, London session low, NY session high, NY session low. That's very important for you to know because at the end of the day, you're going to see how the market moves around those key levels. And once again, look at how simple this is, man. We got exhaustion area forming here. It was tested here. It was tested here once again, and then came back up, tested here again. So we have another exhaustion area formed here. So what I like to do, and not a lot of people do this, not a lot of my members do this, but some of them do, is I like to clear my charts. Because, yeah, man, there's going to be so many levels at the end of the day on your chart. You're going to see so many levels. It's going to confuse you. So I like to keep only the closest ones. And then I like to react. Every session I like to clear up my levels. Like if it's London session and London session just ended, I like to draw my levels on NY session. Why do I do that? I honestly don't know. I just want clean levels and fresh levels up on my chart at all times. I'm not saying you need to do that, but that's just something that I do. So let me do another example. So you guys can see, man, this happens on indices, on any pair, literally. You just have to look at the exhaustion from top to bottom of the wick. I can see we had an exhaustion area here as well. Going down to the M30. And you'll start to notice that when I drop down from time frame to time frame, it will sometimes vary, like the wick Well, for example, I saw an exhaustion area on the H4 here right now. And then when I dropped down to H1, it was an exhaustion area as well. But when I drop down to M30, it looks completely different. So what I'll often do is exactly the same like with yesterday's video. I'll then just put here H4 exhaustion. So this is very important to know because out of sight, out of mind. And as you can see on the M30, when I drop down to M30, this exhaustion area stays the same. So now basically in context, remember this is not the only thing, but in context, we just tested our H4 exhaustion area. So right now, I'm waiting for the market to come and test this exhaustion area right here. That does not mean I'm taking buys, folks. That means that if the daily count is referring to bullish movement, I'm speaking hypothetically right now, and we got a test right here and the market comes down and tests my exhaustion area over here. We're in a green setup day 2. I'll wait for the market to come up, break structure again, and then look at my other confluences and then potentially take a buy. Furthermore, I will also wait and keep an eye on this exhaustion area right here, and then I'll look for 3 things. I have 3 specific things that I look at an exhaustion area. So I'll then wait to see if I see one of those 3 things test my exhaustion area, then I'll know I get out of a trade or not. This is my risk management tool. This is how I can trade, how I want, when I want, because I know I'm always being safe. And guys, don't just take my word for it. Please, I dare you, I call you out to go and test this, okay? You won't find this on Google. You won't find this on another YouTube video. Some people might call it order blocks or support and resistance. It's not the same because, let me show you. I'm going to talk about a trade from yesterday. US 30 was a potential trade yesterday and we got what we wanted. I sent this out in the group. I sent out we were looking for the drop down and then to push back up. So yeah, man, as you can see, it's super accurate. Let me just remove this. This is an old one and then remove this. The market ultimately stopped at this exhaustion area right here. If it was up to support and resistance areas, the market should have stopped here. Or it should have stopped here at the overall yesterday's high, you know? There always has to be context. When I saw this exhaustion area at the top, I knew this is not the standard resistance or order block or whatnot, whatever you want to call it. I knew that there were trapped buyers up here. We call it unfinished business. I knew that trapped buyers were there. So the market needed to hit back up. And as soon as I saw one of my 3 things, I needed to see all 3 of them. As soon as I saw that, I knew that this trade is not going to work out. I can exit with a small profit or a break even. And you can see the transition of my mind. It goes from hoping this trade works out, hoping this trade will only be a retrace, to knowing, okay, this trade is not it. I'm going to close and I'm going to live to trade another day. That's how I have so much confidence. So let me just show you. The market came back down to, where did the market come back down, MC? The market came back down to an exhaustion area. It came back up, came back down again. So where's the market going to go right now? Let's check the H1, H2. This is not a clear exhaustion area. Let's check the H4. Yeah, I'm not liking that exhaustion area, so I'm not going to keep. I mean, we have a small one here. Not really promising, or I mean, it doesn't look that good, even though we get a rejection off from it. I will most possibly, if we break down below that exhaustion area, I will keep my eyes on this one right here. So then you can start to look at, okay, MC, whoa, let's take a step back. If the market breaks, I'm you right now. You're not me, I'm you. So me, I'm you. You're not you, I'm you right now. That's what I'm talking about, I'm you. So the minute I break this exhaustion, remember I'm you. You're not you, I'm you. You're not me, I'm not me, I'm you. Once the market breaks this exhaustion area, comes back up, or breaks the exhaustion area, I know that all of this is clean range. It's not Cristiano Ronaldo, it's clean range. We have clean range to the bottom, okay? So by that point, I can already have confidence because I know I have the exhaustion area from the high, looking at sells. I know I have the bottom one. So now it's very simple. Now I can just add my other confluences and stack my trades in that way. Man, your homework for today, you've got a ton of homework. I need you to go and look at least 10 days of exhaustion areas. That means yesterday, the day before that, the day before that, the day before that. So I need you to go and do that, and then comment in the comment section down below, MC, I did my homework. Let's flip the switch, man. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.